Right now, this moment is more powerful than you realize. Every second you spend lost in thought is energy slipping through your hands, unnoticed, unfelt, in the silence of the present. A force awakens, ancient, steady, unstoppable. Tonight something shifts within those who understand this power. You will feel it. You will move differently. You will see clearly. In this video, you will learn how to harness the power of presence, the very essence that Shaolin masters have guarded for centuries. Few know that monks spent years training not in flashy techniques, but in stillness, perfecting the ability to remain unshaken while the world raged around them. Presence is not passive. It channels energy, sharpens perception, and transforms ordinary actions into deliberate, powerful movements. We will explore techniques that awaken calm, alert, and unbreakable focus. You will discover how mindful awareness can turn distraction into strength and how simple shifts in attention can ignite internal power you never thought possible. These are not theories. They are practices embedded in Shaolin wisdom, rarely shared beyond temple walls. By the end of this journey, you will understand why your mind has been scattered, why moments of power have slipped away, and how to reclaim them tonight. This is more than knowledge. It is activation, an invitation to step fully into the energy waiting within you. Welcome to Shaolin Soulfire, where ancient wisdom meets the path of personal mastery. Stay with us, engage with every word, and witness the shift unfold. Subscribe now and join a growing circle of those ready to awaken, focus, and move through life with the quiet strength of a Shaolin soul. The path begins here, in this very moment. There is a subtle strength in laughter, a quiet power in lightness. The mind that moves like water is the mind that masters itself. Many believe mastery demands struggle, rigid discipline, endless toil. But true skill often rises from ease, from engagement that is free yet deliberate. This is the path of play, the ancient way the Shaolin have taught for generations. To play is not to waste energy, it is to channel it. When you approach life without resistance, without fear of failure or judgment, your movements become precise, your awareness sharp, and your spirit unburdened. In the monastery, masters would watch young disciples learning complex forms. Those who approached their training with tension and striving stumbled, their energy scattered. But those who moved with curiosity, with lightness, even joy, they absorbed lessons effortlessly. The forms became extensions of themselves, not obligations. Play aligns the mind and body naturally. It dissolves hesitation, silences doubt, and opens the channels where energy flows freely. The Shaolin understood that rigid control confines the spirit, but a relaxed focus releases it. Every motion, every breath, every choice becomes an opportunity to practice presence and skill simultaneously. Even in daily life, this principle holds. When you approach tasks, challenges, and interactions with playful awareness, you invite mastery into the ordinary. The mind observes, the body responds, and the heart remains calm. You do not force excellence, it emerges. This is why the path of play is sacred. It is the bridge between discipline and freedom, effort and ease. When the mind is light yet attentive, mastery unfolds without struggle. The energy within you rises, responding to your openness, your engagement, your willingness to move with life rather than against it. In this simple alignment, ancient wisdom whispers its quiet secret. Greatness thrives where the spirit plays. The breath is the silent conductor of life, moving unseen yet shaping everything within and around us. Long before words or gestures, monks discovered that mastery begins with the simplest rhythm, inhalation and exhalation. Every breath carries energy. Every pause between one and the next holds potential. The body, restless or tense, can be transformed simply by observing, guiding, and refining this flow. In the early hours, Shaolin temples echo with quiet inhalations and measured exhalations. Young students learn that controlling the breath is not control for its own sake. It is alignment. One who masters the breath masters the body. One who masters the body begins to master the mind. Through precise breathing, latent energy stirs, moving through channels often unnoticed, awakening strength, clarity, and calm where previously there was only chaos. Breath is also a bridge to presence. When the mind wanders, anxiety rises, or fear appears, attention returns naturally to the rhythm of air entering and leaving the lungs. In this simple cycle, the restless heart finds steadiness, the scattered mind finds focus. Each inhale becomes a gathering of power, each exhale a release of tension. The smallest shifts in rhythm ripple outward, influencing posture, thought, and intention. Ancient texts describe the breath as a hidden thread connecting body, mind, and spirit. Through disciplined practice, the practitioner learns to move energy deliberately, to awaken faculties that lie dormant, and to enter states of awareness where ordinary perception fades. It is not force that opens the door, but gentle, consistent cultivation. In stillness, in motion, in struggle, or in play, the breath remains the anchor. It is the first tool, the constant companion, the secret that underlies every act of mastery. By honoring it, guiding it, and flowing with it, one steps quietly into power, balance, and insight, into the kind of awakening that has guided seekers for centuries. The body is more than flesh and bone. It is a vessel, a temple built to hold and channel the unseen. In the quiet halls of ancient Shaolin temples, masters would move with deliberate precision, each step, each stance a meditation. They understood that the mind alone cannot reach its highest potential if the body remains untrained, unaligned, or neglected. Discipline begins in the body, and from there it rises like fire through every layer of being. Posture, movement, and alignment are not mere exercises. They are a language, a dialogue between physical form and inner energy. Every stance cultivates strength, every controlled motion directs chi, the vital force that flows through us all. The body, when honored and trained, becomes sensitive to currents invisible to the untrained eye. Energy circulates, perception deepens, and consciousness expands. The smallest adjustment, a lifted shoulder, a rooted foot, a straightened spine, can shift awareness and unlock power long dormant. Physical practice teaches patience and presence. Pain, fatigue, or imbalance becomes a teacher, not an obstacle. The rhythm of the body mirrors the rhythm of life. Disciplined, attentive, responsive. Through repeated practice, the body internalizes lessons that the mind alone cannot grasp. Each breath aligns with movement. Each movement harmonizes with intention, creating a seamless flow where thought, energy, and action converge. In this sacred union, the body ceases to be merely a container and becomes an instrument. Higher consciousness manifests not through effort alone, but through integration. When mind and body act as one, when energy flows without obstruction, awareness deepens, insight emerges, and presence becomes palpable. The temple is not built in stone or wood. It exists within every joint, every muscle, every cell, waiting for the practitioner willing to honor it, to train it, and to move in harmony with its profound wisdom. Silence holds a power that words can never capture. In its stillness lies a preparation, a tuning of the mind and spirit that precedes every moment of true mastery. Shaolin masters understood this long before the world celebrated action and noise. They knew that the deepest clarity arises not in speaking or moving, but in listening, listening to the subtle currents within, the quiet rhythms that pulse beneath thought and emotion. In the monastery, hours pass in intentional silence. Young disciples sit, stand, or move without uttering a sound, their senses sharpened by absence rather than presence of distraction. This is not emptiness, it is active cultivation. The mind, free from chatter, begins to resonate with frequencies otherwise drowned out, intuition, insight, and a subtle knowing that guides every action. The smallest detail becomes visible, the faintest shift in energy noticeable, the unseen made tangible. Silence trains patience and presence. It is a mirror reflecting the mind exactly as it is. Restless thoughts, fleeting desires, hidden fears, all emerge and reveal themselves. The practitioner observes without judgment, allowing the mind to settle like sediment in still water. In this settling, clarity arises. Decisions are no longer reactive. Movement is no longer scattered. The body, mind, and spirit align naturally, responding with precision and ease to the rhythms of life. Ancient wisdom teaches that moments of greatest transformation often come not in noise or struggle, but in quiet readiness. By embracing silence, the practitioner enters a space where energy accumulates, perception sharpens, and potential awakens. Every inhale, every pulse, every subtle sensation becomes a teacher. Through disciplined stillness, the gates of higher awareness open and activation moves from possibility into experience. In silence, the unseen becomes known, and the mind steps fully into its own power. Every action, no matter how small, carries energy. It moves beyond the visible, rippling quietly through the body, the mind, and even the world around us. Ancient masters understood that it is not effort alone that shapes destiny, but the quality of intention behind every movement, every thought, every breath. Energy without direction dissipates. Intention gives it form, focus, and power. In the quiet halls of the Shaolin Temple, a disciple learning a simple stance or form is taught more than technique. They are taught to hold purpose in every gesture. A raised arm, a rooted foot, a controlled breath, each infused with conscious intention, becomes more than physical motion. It becomes a statement of alignment, a channel through which mind, body, and spirit move together. When all three converge on a singular purpose, activation unfolds naturally, effortlessly, and profoundly. Intentional living is subtle yet transformative. The smallest choices, when made deliberately, accumulate like drops of water forming a river. A calm response instead of reactive anger, a mindful step instead of hurried motion, a silent breath instead of restless thinking. These are the seeds of mastery. Over time, their compound effect reshapes the mind, tunes the energy of the body, and expands the field of consciousness. Ancient texts remind us that life is not lived passively. Energy flows wherever intention leads it. Every thought, every action, every pause carries the potential to awaken deeper states of awareness. When the practitioner moves with clarity and purpose, life itself responds, opening doors previously unnoticed, revealing insights previously hidden. The power of intention is both simple and profound. It aligns the inner world, harmonizes action, and transforms ordinary moments into the extraordinary, turning disciplined focus into the gateway of activation. Within every moment lies a tension, a dance between forces that seem opposed, light and shadow, effort and surrender, stillness and movement. Life presents these dualities constantly, yet true mastery does not seek to eliminate one in favor of the other. The Shaolin Way teaches that power and wisdom emerge not from rejection, but from integration, from the quiet harmonizing of opposites within the self. In the training halls, a monk moves with deliberate force, yet pauses in stillness between each motion. Strength is tempered by softness, speed balanced by patience. Every strike, every stance, every breath carries both tension and release. This is no accident. It is a reflection of a deeper truth. The world itself exists in polarity, and those who wish to master it must first master the balance inside. Integration is subtle and often invisible. It does not demand drama or struggle, only awareness. By observing the interplay of light and shadow within the mind, by feeling where effort meets resistance, the practitioner learns to act without conflict. Energy flows naturally when dualities are reconciled. Fear becomes insight, rest becomes power, resistance becomes fuel. This harmony transforms perception. The body moves freely, unblocked. The mind remains alert yet calm. The spirit aligns with the rhythm of life itself. Ancient texts speak of this as the secret of activation. When internal contradictions no longer fight, the latent potential within rises effortlessly. Mastery is not an external achievement. It is an internal equilibrium, a quiet resonance where opposites coexist and amplify one another. Through disciplined practice and mindful reflection, the practitioner discovers that the path is not about choosing sides, but about weaving unity from duality. In this integration, clarity unfolds, energy aligns, and true activation becomes not a goal but a natural state of being. Energy moves quietly beneath the surface of every thought, every emotion, every movement. It flows in cycles, sometimes swift, and turbulent, sometimes slow and subtle, shaping the way the body responds and the mind perceives. The untrained cannot feel it, yet it governs the rhythm of life, the ease or struggle of every action. Shaolin masters understood that mastery begins not with force, but with awareness, attunement to these hidden currents. In the temple, students are guided to sense the movement of energy within themselves. A breath draws it inward. A shift in posture sends it outward. Thoughts can constrict it, anxiety can scatter it, yet calm observation allows it to flow freely. With practice, awareness sharpens. The mind no longer reacts blindly. It reads the subtle signals of the body, the quiet whispers of qi moving beneath the skin. Every step, every gesture becomes informed by this current. Recognizing energy flow is not passive, it is active guidance. When a block arises, it can be released. When momentum is needed, it can be amplified. Emotion and thought are no longer masters, but instruments in the hands of disciplined awareness. Through simple practices, focused breathing, mindful movement, or quiet reflection, the practitioner cultivates sensitivity, learning to sense where energy pools, where it stagnates, and how it can be directed to awaken latent potential. Ancient wisdom teaches that energy is life itself. Those who align with its natural patterns move with precision, clarity, and power. Resistance fades, tension dissolves, and insight arises spontaneously. Awareness of energy flow transforms ordinary existence into a living meditation where every action is both intentional and effortless. The currents within become guides, and in their movement, activation is no longer distant. It is the natural expression of harmony between mind, body, and spirit. Challenges are not walls meant to stop the seeker. They are doors waiting to be opened. In the silence of struggle, the Shaolin have long taught, lies the greatest opportunity for growth. Every obstacle carries a lesson, a hidden spark that, when recognized, ignites strength, clarity, and resilience. Those who shy from difficulty remain stagnant, but those who engage it consciously transform resistance into fuel for evolution. In the training halls, a disciple encounters forms that test balance, stamina, and focus. At first, the body trembles, the mind protests, and frustration rises. Yet the master watches calmly, knowing that this very resistance is the teacher. By facing the difficulty steadily, without panic or avoidance, the disciple discovers a rhythm deeper than effort, a flow where challenge becomes catalyst. Each misstep becomes insight, each strain becomes refinement, each moment of discomfort a subtle awakening. Obstacles also reveal the state of the mind. Calm and clarity in the face of pressure reflect discipline cultivated over time. The Shaolin understand that external events do not define power. The response to them does. Activation is not imposed by circumstance, but emerges naturally when one meets difficulty with awareness and composure. Resistance, when embraced, becomes a lever that lifts the spirit higher than effort alone could achieve. Ancient teachings describe this as the hidden path. The world will always present friction, yet friction polishes the mind, strengthens the body, and aligns the spirit. Growth is not in escaping challenge, but in moving through it with intention and presence. In this process, activation is not forced. It unfolds organically, as if the universe itself responds to readiness. Obstacles become allies, tension becomes energy, and the practitioner discovers that mastery is measured not by ease, but by the grace with which they rise through struggle. There is a quiet power in letting go, a strength hidden in the act of surrender. The mind often seeks control, clinging to outcomes, resisting what is, and in that resistance, energy stagnates. True mastery, however, is born not from force, but from alignment, allowing life to move through you rather than against you. In surrender, the flow of presence, play, and action becomes effortless, as if the body and spirit themselves are guided by an unseen hand. Ancient Shaolin teachings describe moments when the most profound breakthroughs occur, not through striving, but through stillness and trust. A monk moving through a complex form may release tension completely, permitting the body to respond intuitively. In this release, technique, power, and awareness converge naturally. The paradox is simple yet profound. Control is not relinquished because it is weak, but because letting go is the truest expression of mastery. Surrender does not mean inaction or passivity. It is a precise alignment of intention with acceptance. The practitioner moves fully, engages deeply, yet does so without resistance, without the weight of expectation. Obstacles are no longer fought. They are allowed to shape the path, revealing openings invisible to the grasping mind. Each breath, each step, each motion becomes a dialogue with the present, where energy flows freely and insight rises spontaneously. Through surrender, the doors to activation open. Hidden potential awakens, shifts occur suddenly, and clarity emerges without effort. Life ceases to be a series of battles to be won, and becomes a rhythm to be danced. In this harmony, the practitioner discovers that control was never the source of power, presence was. By letting go, mastery is realized, and activation, once distant, becomes immediate, living, and undeniable. True transformation is rarely sudden. It is woven quietly through the repetition of small intentional actions performed each day. The Shaolin understood this deeply. The body and mind are like clay. Without steady shaping, they remain rough and unformed. Through consistent practice, movement, breath, meditation, the disciple cultivates not only skill, but presence, clarity, and readiness. Each day's effort becomes a silent teacher, guiding the practitioner toward higher states of awareness. Rituals anchor the mind and body. Rising early, aligning breath with motion, or sitting in stillness are not mere habits. They are invitations to internal mastery. The discipline lies not in rigid obligation, but in the quiet commitment to return again and again, to honor the path no matter how ordinary the moment may feel. In this repetition, the subtle energy within begins to flow more freely, perception sharpens, and the mind learns to move in harmony with the body rather than against it. Even actions that seem small, 10 deliberate breaths, a single stance held with focus, a brief period of reflection, carry weight when performed daily. They compound, layer upon layer, building strength, resilience, and energy that cannot be rushed. Ancient texts describe this as the accumulation of invisible power. A seed nurtured daily eventually grows into a force capable of sustaining extraordinary insight and mastery. Consistency also cultivates patience, humility, and trust. The practitioner learns that greatness is not found in rare bursts of effort, but in the faithful unfolding of practice over time. Activation becomes accessible not through sudden revelation, but through the steady, intentional cultivation of mind, body, and spirit. Through daily ritual, the ordinary becomes sacred, the subtle becomes profound, and transformation moves from possibility into living reality. There is a rhythm that underlies all life, a current that moves through the mountains, the rivers, and the silent spaces within the human heart. The Shaolin have long taught that mastery is not achieved in isolation. The body, mind, and spirit reach their fullest potential only when aligned with this greater flow. To resist it is to struggle against the tide. To move with it is to awaken effortlessly. In the temples, masters observed the natural patterns of life, how wind bends the trees, how water finds its path, how energy circulates in harmony. They teach that each person carries an inner rhythm, a pulse that can either clash with or resonate alongside the universal current. Meditation, mindful movement, and disciplined practice attune the practitioner to this rhythm, revealing how internal states influence and are influenced by the world beyond. Alignment is subtle, but it transforms perception and action profoundly. Activation arises when clarity, discipline, and playful engagement converge. A focused mind notices patterns invisible to distraction. A disciplined body channels energy efficiently. Playfulness allows the spirit to move without resistance. Together, they create resonance, a harmonic frequency where inner and outer currents merge. In this state, actions are no longer forced. Decisions arise with precision, insight flows naturally, and presence becomes effortless. Ancient teachings describe this as the ultimate principle. Life itself is a river, and the seeker's energy is a boat. Those who row against the current strain and tire, but those who sense the flow, adjust their course with subtlety and trust, move swiftly and smoothly toward their purpose. Connection to the universal current is not passive, it is active harmony, a practiced sensitivity to the unseen forces that shape existence. In this resonance, latent potential awakens, activation becomes inevitable, and mastery unfolds not as conquest, but as natural alignment with the pulse of all things. Activation is not something far away or reserved for rare moments. It is always within reach, waiting for alignment, presence, and mindful engagement. Every breath, every movement, every choice becomes a step toward awakening the energy that already resides within you. By embracing challenges, balancing effort with ease, and flowing with life rather than against it, the path to personal mastery opens naturally. Tonight is a reminder that preparation and practice are never wasted. The chosen one does not force activation, it emerges effortlessly when mind, body, and spirit move together in harmony. Let this be a gentle invitation, bring awareness to each moment, honor your breath, engage fully in simple actions, and allow your inner power to flow freely. Carry these practices into your daily life. Approach challenges as teachers, embrace stillness as a guide, and let playfulness bring clarity to your actions. In small, consistent steps, the extraordinary becomes accessible. Thank you for joining us on this journey. May your path be steady, your energy clear, and your presence fully alive. If this video resonated with you, like and subscribe to Shaolin Soulfire and continue walking the path of mindful mastery with us.